If you're in the market for some of the most insane fights in MasterChef history, I've got just one thing for you right here.
Come on.
Just like this time, when one contestant decided to throw a fit right in the middle of a challenge. Now, Astrid over here immediately came into the game with a hell of an attitude.
Is coriander crusted shrimp, because from Louisiana, this is me on a plate with a little bit of
But despite all the confidence, her dish didn't make it to the top in the first round.
You 9, please come down to the front.
Tough on that one.
Sure, she flashed those pearly whites and played nice with her fellow cooks, but when it came to her actual cooking chops, let's just say hers were more of a flop. As for mistakes, well, she had more than her fair share. And don't even get me started on her hygiene habits. Which probably explains why she was among the exclusive club of contestants to spend the shortest time on the show.
going home, back to my 4 children.
And like I said before, she was coming into the show with some serious heat. Just not where it counted.
So, which of us 3 do you challenge? Astrid.
Gordon Ramsay, I respect the hell out of you, so let's bring it, baby. You and I, mano a mano.
I accept that challenge. I'll come alongside all of you.
Well, you have to give it to her. I never expected her to challenge Chef Ramsay like that. But this challenge was going to be quite different from the other.
Find in millions of homes across America. Bacon, bell peppers, carrots, shrimp, and of course, the most popular protein, chicken.
And what did she do with all these ingredients?
Anyone in America tonight could go in the refrigerator and cook along. Everyone has potatoes, everyone has bacon, everyone has a piece of chicken.
I hope they have that imagination to use that hour to maximizing that flavor.
She went full-on food fight, literally throwing peels and scraps around without a care in the world. And honestly, it wasn't even really fun to watch. Just all sorts of disgusting.
Does she cook like that at home?
This is not gonna fly. This is disgusting. This is not how you work in restaurants. Everyone.
I mean, it almost looks like she did it deliberately. What do you think? Christian straight up called her out, asking if that chaos was her usual cooking style at home. And well, can we even blame him for that now? And then Joe swooped in to shut down the madness and give her a stern warning about those less than appetizing working conditions.
Well, listen up a second. We're not gonna tolerate disgusting working conditions. This is a kitchen. We have sanitary standards. This is dangerous. You're gonna fall. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna hurt me. And I'm just...
Yeah, not exactly Michelin star material. I mean, nowhere close. But guess what she had to say about it?
I'm embarrassed, but all I know is that right now, you've got to focus. Thought they had people that clean.
Well, they sure do, but I'm sure nobody's come across anyone as messy as you before. Anyway, after all the mess that she made, here's what happened during the tasting.
Chicken's now, potatoes, bacon, delicious. Really good indeed. Seasoned, lemon, totally unnecessary. Overall, flavors there.
And well, she eventually managed to get the apron, but Joe wasn't about to let her go without a warning. He was so ready to put up a fight. He even mentioned that had it been his restaurant, she would have gotten the boot right away. Now, it should be obvious that Astrid wasn't out of the woods yet. During the Desert Mystery Box Challenge, she revealed something that left Chef Ramsay stunned.
Nervous. I don't bake, Chef.
You've never baked? Mum of 4? Really?
No.
Okay. What are you doing? So was that a short crust? What's the flavor though? Lavender? Thyme?
Lavender.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, turns out it was her first time baking. Not surprising why when her lemon tarts came out, things took a sour turn. Literally.
Tart with lavender.
Yeah, when someone stutters while presenting their dish, it's already a bad sign. And if that wasn't proof enough, what should be is the fact that Chef Ramsay started to question her basic cooking skills.
I imagine so.
You imagine so. If something's not cooked, what do? Leave it in the oven.
Oh, and he decided to give her a reality check for good measure.
Understand where we can go with you, because I don't think there's much potential.
And when Graham got a taste, he nearly chipped a tooth on those rock-hard pastries.
I know pastry might not be your strength, but to win the competition, you need to be able to come in and understand whether it's dessert or how to still step up and make it happen.
Absolutely.
Long story short, Astrid found herself in the dreaded bottom 2, standing alongside Cutter. And if you know anything about Cutter, you know how bad a look that is.
Whose journey will continue in MasterChef is Cutter.
It certainly sounded like the judges had absolutely no hope for her, and in turn, Chef Ramsay the exit comment short and sweet.
You may have the passion, we don't feel the desire. Please take your apron off and leave the MasterChef kitchen. Thank you.
Thank you.
But hey, at least she owned up to her baking blunder and vowed to practice like a pro for next time.
I understand. I own it. Maybe I should have read some more recipes and practiced baking because that is my weakness.
Not that there was gonna be one for her, but hey, I respect the sentiment. Anyway, while Astrid walked out of the MasterChef kitchen, there was a buzz all over the internet. Remember the clip from earlier where it looked like she was deliberately tossing the food around?
Sweet potatoes, sweet potatoes.
I don't need Courtney to save me. I know I'm good enough to get up on that balcony all on mine. A lot of people do see me as a food snob, and I wholeheartedly embrace it. Snobbery to me just means I've had better, and
Plenty of people noticed the same and thought it was proof that the show was scripted. I mean, who would think that it was a good idea to literally throw their scraps to the floor in a place like the MasterChef kitchen? And I don't think anyone cooks like that, no matter where they are. But what do you think? Was she just messy being disrespectful, or did she get played somehow? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. Meanwhile, let me go on to the next contestant, an underdog who just couldn't quite find his groove in the MasterChef kitchen. Howard, bless his heart, but let's just say he was more of a disaster artist than a culinary genius. Now, I'm not one to throw shade, but Howard's cooking game was, well, hardly MasterChef quality. And it didn't stop and start with just a lack of skill. Arrogant? Check. Condescending? You betcha. And don't even get me started on his knack for slacking off while the rest of the crew sweated over their stoves. Sure, he played nice during team challenges, but when it came to flying solo, let's just say his dishes were almost always subpar. In other words, his best came across like the bare minimum. So, picture this. Howard was feeling all confident, thinking he'd got Chrissy's ticket punched for elimination with his, I don't know, psychic powers or something?
Did you disappear into the library for half an hour?
No, I did not.
What is it, please?
Citrus salad with a champion vinaigrette, diced mangoes, sliced grapefruit, and just put the legancine on top.
But literally, every time people think that on this show, it's 100% projection.
What have you been doing across the last 60 minutes?
I concentrated on my vinaigrette.
I can't see any vinaigrette. Graham, any vinaigrette on there?
No, sir.
Chef Ramsay straight up refused to even take a bite. And Joe, you already know what he was gonna do.
What to say? You know I'm not a rabbit, yet you serve me food that's fit for a rabbit hutch, and you expect me to get blown away. Well, I am blown away. I'm shocked. In fact, I'm not even gonna eat it.
Joe laid into Howard, reminding him of the high expectations he'd set with his grandma.
And told everyone how good you were.
Absolutely.
You're in a landslide.
But things went from bad to worse when Joe basically called Howard's dish a waste of space on the plate.
You did?
I went out and told everyone how good you were.
Absolutely.
In a landslide.
Yep.
This is a waste of our time. If it were up to me, I'd throw you out. I put my ass on the line for you, and that's the you give me?
Yeah, Joe definitely woke up and chose violence that day.
If you're having a tough time and it's a meltdown and you're a spent force, I'll put you out your misery.
Absolutely not, Chef.
But if that's the best you can do, then you are in the wrong kitchen.
Lucky for Howard, Sasha took one for the team and got the boot instead. Lucky break, right?
Your depth on that dish, because it doesn't taste nice at all. Combination's just all wrong.
I give you...
But that wasn't the end of his troubles. The poor guy had another catastrophe in the second mystery box challenge.
What's up, Joe? How you doing? Porcini, soy sauce rice, and I'm doing a soy sauce vinaigrette, and then I'm gonna bread the black cod and also sear.
You're stationed there. I'd hate to see you on the bottom here.
No, definitely not. I've been there too often, so it's time to get to the top.
Yeah, he was called out for poor skills quite a few times. You see, Howard thought he was serving up some top-notch sashimi, but Chef Ramsay knew better. Turns out his fish was as raw as it gets, and not in the way you'd want it for sashimi. Just trust me on this one.
Plated raw fish.
It's not raw fish. I was like, did someone do like sashimi or something?
Howard, bring that dish up.
And I think you know what's gonna happen next.
Even without tasting it, you know immediately it's raw. It won't even separate.
Chef Ramsay didn't even need to taste it to know it was a disaster waiting to happen. I mean, fish that doesn't separate properly? Why even bother at that point? But wait, it gets worse. Joe didn't just stop at a stern talking to, oh no. He took matters into his own hands and chucked Howard's dish straight into the trash.
This kind of is what pisses us off or what sends you home.
It was about time, honestly. But again, later in the season, Howard stepped up to the plate with his agnolotti.
I didn't grow up in Italy. Like, I grew up in San Diego, where we eat enchiladas and California burritos. I want to use what she taught us at the demo. I don't want to copy it, so I'm thinking of the ingredients that I use at home. Bell peppers and jalapenos, and I want to put my own twist on the pasta dish that Joe's mom showed us how to make today.
However, this is where things got spicy. So Howard was feeling the pressure as he presented his dish, admitting that his plating skills weren't exactly top-notch.
Walking up, I'm not 100% confident in the dish that I'm bringing up. Plating isn't that great, but hopefully the flavors come together.
So what is exactly this stuff?
Bell peppers.
But hey, he had high hopes that his flavors would save the day.
Jalapeno, braised chicken, and then spiced with a little cumin.
Yeah, cumin is a spice that is not good.
And it certainly sounds okay, but well, not according to Lydia.
I'm making stuffing. Yeah, what I got here is a mouthful of peppers. It's not harmonious with a pasta dish like this. Classics work and they're appreciated time after time. Otherwise, they wouldn't be called classics.
Of course.
Get a good connection to the basics. Don't just fly off on a wing, okay?
So we know adding bell peppers wasn't really a great decision. Lydia wasn't holding back, calling out Howard's dish for tasting like she'd emptied the entire contents of her pepper mill into her mouth. And overall, just not being up to snuff. But then, Joe stepped in and things went from bad to worse. Joe didn't mince words, calling out Howard's cavalier attitude and accusing him of being clueless and crying wolf every time he messed up.
I don't understand. She's been nice to you, but the whole thing with you is you have this very cavalier attitude. You don't know what you're cooking, what dish you're making with 10 minutes left, and you come up here and get misty-eyed with us like, oh, poor me again, I got screwed up, and I'm getting tired of it. Because if you were smart...
And when Howard tried to defend himself with excuses, Joe saw red.
Playing this game properly is really annoying. I mean, I'm gonna taste this.
You want 15 of the same dishes up here?
If you're here...
He accused him of arrogance, refusing to admit his mistakes, and even dropping the narcissist in denial bomb.
How cutesy and intelligent and crafty you are, well, that's gonna get you a one-way ticket back to wherever you came from. And then you could show your friends and the 6 people who told you were good how cutesy and smart you are when you're home cooking at dinner parties, while the rest of this group goes on and competes to become the next MasterChef. So, I want pasta cooked properly because you know what? The only thing worse than a cook who can't boil is a narcissist in full denial. Thank you for nothing.
Talk about a verbal beatdown. Howard didn't take it lying down, though. In his confessional, he let loose with some choice words for Joe and doubled down on his excuses, claiming the competition was all about flair and finesse, not just copying someone else's dish to win big bucks.
This is a competition about flair, about finesse, about creativity, not about copying someone else's so you can win $250,000.
In the end, Howard's lack of passion and perpetual denial spelled his culinary demise.
And my fellow judges, please come down. Johnny, Lynn, Howard, and Beth.
And of course, they still didn't take it easy on him by any means.
That you wouldn't absorb the kind of magic this lady has spent nearly 6 decades creating. One of you has reached the end of the road. I would like that individual to leave this competition in a dignified manner by removing his apron, placing it on his station, and leaving the MasterChef kitchen. That individual knows who he is. Do the honorable thing.
Lynn's one wanted to.
That's the most humiliating way to get someone to leave.
I got here, and I got an apron, and I got to compete. Thousands and thousands of people did it. I did as best as I could.
The actual cupcake is definitely the hero. A bit like you tonight. Good job.
Thank you. And I feel amazing about it.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you.
The judges could see right through his act, and his elimination was about as surprising as a sunrise. It's like they say, sometimes you just gotta know when to hang up your apron and call it a day. Better luck next time, Howard. Meanwhile, opinions are all over the place about the guy online. Some think he should have been kicked off early because his dishes weren't up to snuff, while others kind of feel for the guy, saying he seemed like he was giving it his all, but just couldn't keep up with the others. There's also chatter about Joe being particularly harsh on him. Basically, it's a mix of people feeling sorry for Howard and others thinking he just wasn't cut out for the competition. But what do you think? While you think about that, let me head over to someone that I assume you thought I was gonna save for last. Nah, Chrissy's second to last this time. As much as she really rocked the boat on her season, I've got someone waiting in the wings that's got her beat. But anyway, on to the woman herself. Sure, she had skills, but her attitude?
Mac and cheese and the shellfish would go well together at all.
But strawberry, definitely go with it.
I honestly have never instantly hated someone so much, and he's just an epic fail at cooking. Can't wait till you go home, Howard.
Yeah, let's just say it wasn't the best. She came across as a hater right from the start. From stirring up drama to serving up sass, she was the talk of the town for all the wrong reasons.
Go home, Howard.
Why do you think Natasha picked langoustine?
The triple-sop, especially.
Why?
Because she hates me.
She hates you.
Oh, absolutely.
Why would she hate you?
I have no idea.
You don't even know each other.
Exactly.
Good balance of flavor. Rich. It's good.
Thank you.
Man, she was the ultimate villain. But you gotta admit, her cooking skills were off the charts. And the drama she stirred up? Total game changer. Like, seriously, what more could you want in a show? Not surprising why the contestants couldn't stand her.
I was a tomboy. Bree would be like the quiet one. Eddie would be the athlete. Howard would probably be one of the cool guys. James would be kind of the oddball. And Christy would be the loudmouth.
I have more enemies than friends because I never kept my mouth shut.
But if I have to pick a few instances from the show where she was undoubtedly intolerable, then I have to pick this moment between her and Jordan. Remember when Jordan picked Chrissy for his team, thinking he'd assert some authority?
I can stick my foot down as hard as she can, and I'm not scared of her because I'm going to show her authority, and she's going to listen to me. So, Chrissy, why don't you walk on over here?
Everybody's scared of my mouth. Everybody thinks I'm kind of like going to take over.
Let's go, you son of a bitch.
And people don't like that. Oh well.
Jordan saved Howard and James, then pulled the classic move and saved himself. However, Chrissy wasn't having it.
That was a bitch move. In my neighborhood, that'd get your ass kicked. Captain goes down with the ship.
I think it's stupid to not save yourself. You're going to go down with your ship? Well, I'm not a captain of a ship. I'm a captain of a team that is no longer a team.
Chrissy, let's go, please.
What's more, she'd just lash out at her whole team without giving a damn.
Oh my God. Breakdown much? It's my second pressure test. You don't see me falling to pieces? Everyone just calm the down. For sakes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At one point, we felt she's only there to be critical of other people. Like this one time, her comments over Natasha's cooking.
Natasha's Eggs Benedict looks the worst. I don't know what happened with her hollandaise, but it's bad. It's really bad.
Love her or loathe her, Chrissy made MasterChef history with her fiery temper and no-nonsense attitude. And as for the viewers, it seems like opinions about Chrissy for MasterChef are quite divided, with some viewers finding her entertaining as a reality TV villain, while others see her behavior as toxic and unacceptable. Either way, her abrasive personality and confrontational attitude definitely made an impact on the show, whether viewers loved or hated her. Now, moving on. Remember that contestant that I said actually had Chrissy beat? Shanika, oh boy, where do I even start? Well, how about here?
My name is Shanika. I'm 34 years old. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I'm an event promoter. I cook how I look, bold, tough, daring. I am very, very confident in who I am. And, you know, when you feel good and you look good, you cook good.
I mean, that didn't seem so bad. But no, seriously, name a contestant she didn't butt heads with.
I get it, yeah. I had a feeling this was coming because there's a lot of people that are threatened by me. But I'm not worried about it. I'm definitely going to use this time to strategize what I'm going to do and just get this done.
Come on, y'all, get it in.
Shanika, how much time have they allotted?
40 minutes.
40 minutes. Wow. Julia.
30.
Emily.
35 minutes, Chef.
35 minutes. You ladies got your work cut out.
The 5, the 10-minute, the 15-minute penalty. Is it make or break? How hard?
Salisbury steak is basically almost like a fast-track meatloaf with a beautiful glaze on there. You need time to do this. Shanika, 15 seconds, stand by.
This is her time to step up.
Shanika, 40 minutes. If she's smart, she'll take those 5 minutes and absolutely categorize what she needs to do over the next 40 minutes. Shanika, 3, 2, 1, start.
Everybody up there on that balcony trying to throw me off my game by taking 5 minutes away from me, but not gonna stop me. I'm gonna make small pieces so Salisbury steak cooks a lot faster, get my gravy on, cook my veggies last, make sure my potatoes in.
Boy, was she self-confident. Throughout the season, Shanika brought the fire, and not just in her cooking. She was a force to be reckoned with, oozing passion and skill like nobody's business. And we could see that. But when it came to team challenges, let's just say she wasn't exactly everyone's cup of tea. Her teammates saw her as a lone wolf, with vibes so negative they could have clouded up the whole kitchen. Like, take this time for instance, when she wasn't all that happy with Chelsea being the captain, and it showed.
Maybe you made some friends, maybe you made some enemies, maybe you made a pie that could keep you here. Maybe you did.
Let's see how she was towards Chelsea.
To cook on the crust, but I guess a little anger got in me. So I think I may have over-whipped the cream.
Yeah, the whipped cream ain't right.
Yes, Chef. But other than that, I feel that the flavors are there.
I think that crust is really delicious, but here's just what I find a little confusing.
Okay.
You got two big elements, the cream and the cream, that are very difficult for me to distinguish. And I think you could see it, they're the same.
Because the over-whipping of the cream.
That's a problem.
Plus, when her squad was in hot water, she was the lifeguard pulling them to safety. And don't even get me started on her no-filter attitude. Shanika was like a walking truth bomb, unafraid to speak her mind. And it wasn't surprising that people hated her.
Who don't you want?
Who don't I want?
Yeah.
Miss Shanika. I don't like her in the kitchen. I like her outside of the kitchen.
Oh, really, Jody?
I am choosing Samantha.
And guess who found themselves at the receiving end of her passive aggression? Well, Judy, of course.
Duck breast with orange zest mashed potatoes.
You're not making sense right now. Freaking orange mashed potatoes? Who does that?
Everybody got it? Ready? All right, 1, 2, 3.
Oh! Let's go.
Whoa, that was a whole lot of hatred packed into one scene. But Shanika had problems with pretty much everyone around. Like, she is also known for not getting along with Emily despite ending up in the same team.
I'm thinking salmon as well. Pork, I think, is an easier go when it comes to marking, finishing the oven.
Okay, but what I feel like with the salmon is we have 100 people to feed. Can we get this pork done in time to feed 100
Because we have 75 minutes to prep before we even serve.
I think pork chop is a mistake. Salmon doesn't take that long to cook. We can be a little bit more organized, but pork chop it should be.
Pork or salmon now? You can't really tell if they're trying to find the right way or just trying not to get their ego bruised.
Is pork go really well with balsamic? If we do,
No balsamic,
if
no
we
balsamic.
throw balsamic
No
in a
balsamic.
pan and reduce it down to a glaze, it's one of our garnish elements on the
Balsamic
plate.
and peaches don't go
But
together.
we're keeping it
They
separate, so we
do.
don't.
But
They do.
when you eat a combination of everything together, it doesn't go.
I'm saying that's our.
Have
that's
you ever
a
heard
sauce.
of a peach balsamic
okay,
dressing?
okay. You know, Shanika, this is not the Shanika show. This is MasterChef. Either get on, or you need to rethink maybe what team you chose.
No matter what, we need a plan.
So here's what went down. Shanika was pretty much coming up with some or the other reason to drop Emily's ideas.
Abby,
This is going to be a battle.
Very exciting luncheon.
Oh no, they really couldn't get along. However, as a result of their ego clashes, the food was getting compromised.
At the same time being burnt and undercooked. Oh my God, guys. I can't serve a black pork chop. I mean, I'm about to call for a mayday because we might be going down.
And Shanika didn't do well under leadership.
Honestly, Shanika is the only person left who is still hanging on to the salmon. Shanika, do you feel comfortable cooking pork?
hell no. I'll play. I told you I didn't want to do this damn pork.
She can be that negative spark of energy that just transfers like wildfire to everyone.
I knew we should have did damn salmon. Nobody don't want to listen to me.
It's
I
coming.
know.
Pork is easy to cook if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't need to get sassy.
You're the one that's getting sassy.
Those are wrong.
And one thing followed another, and things only kept getting worse.
Base of the planet. But on the flip side, I also have skills that I think could be beneficial in the test. And unless something catastrophic happens, I could make a fantastic Black Forest cake. I'm gonna choose to go head to head.
Wow. Wow.
I am a believer in positive communication and respecting people in the kitchen. So I will have to say, go head to head with Shanika.
I'm ready.
I'm sorry, Joe. We're both on your team.
I'm losing on every front here.
Ashley, Farhan, Jerome, get up to the safety of the balcony.
But there came a time when Emily wanted to compete against Shanika.
Emily, I'm not the best baker, but I know that I'm strong and I'm determined. You want to battle it out? Let's fight.
This is it, the baking battle of the century. At your stations, you'll have everything that you need to make a perfect Black Forest cake, and you'll have just 75 minutes to make it happen.
Both of you, please, head.
Crazy how they both were so determined to try out their luck.
I mean, it is what it is. I guess that's what you get for being opinionated and speaking your mind.
Ever made a Black Forest cake before?
Nope, I'm allergic to chocolate.
You're allergic to chocolate?
Yep.
Wow, but you're a fighter.
I never back down from a fight.
No. If you were the captain, who would you have chosen to go head to head with?
I probably would have did the same thing. She's just a nasty girl.
You've got 60 minutes to nail this. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Come on, Shanika.
Emily.
But it does take a lot to still take up a challenge despite being allergic to the main ingredient, and we gotta appreciate that. But guess what? Amidst all the chaos there as one constant, the hateful comments coming through for each other.
Maybe overstayed her welcome.
Overstayed my damn welcome. Girl, it's going down tonight.
So it's a personal thing.
It's personal and professional.
Right.
In professional, she was not in the challenge, and this is the punishment.
Anyway, after all the drama, both of them finally served their Black Forest cake. And here's how it went for Emily.
Wow.
I think I recovered nicely, but disaster struck today.
You built it high. It's considerably higher than Shanika's. Why is that?
Now, surprisingly, Joe wasn't being too overly critical.
My cake layers, but also because I made sure to have a nice layer of whipped cream between all 4 of my layers.
Apart from it falling over, anything else you would have done differently?
Nothing that I would have done differently, but something that I did do differently. Mine has just a touch more cocoa powder in the cake itself, just to give a little bit more richness and balance out the lightness of the whipped cream.
Question is...
But when Joe sliced into the cake and lifted it up, here's how Emily reacted to her own cake.
Not as great as it could look.
No. What happened to the layers of whipped cream?
They compressed.
So this is like a rich chocolate sponge cake? The cherries...
And when he took a bite, this is what he had to say.
It's very, very moist and has a very assertive chocolate flavor, which I like. The extra chocolate paid off. Cherries are good.
However, there was one flaw he couldn't ignore.
The amount of cake to cream, the ratio is way off. That's where I'm having a bit of trouble here.
Now, Aaron was the next judge to step up for the tasting, and this is how he reacted.
I think the construction of the cake suffered by many different variables. I just want more cherry flavor, I think, because it's so dense. If I had it my way, I would have taken those cherries and put them in the food processor and made a paste. And then I would have spread the paste on each layer evenly, because then I would have got just little pops of cherry. But what I do love, I love the addition of cocoa powder. It's necessary. I think you have a lot of richness because your chantilly cream is so deep and rich. And I think that small change made a big difference in the overall flavor. And that's what I find the most memorable.
Well, there were positives and there were negatives, and things could eventually go in any direction. But wait, it was time to taste Shanika's cake, and Chef Ramsay couldn't wait to get started. However, even before he dug into the cake, he had a question for her.
Out her tins to the absolute ground, and you're just putting it in with the eye. You weighed nothing out. Why?
I just went by scoop and just on hopes that...
Scoop.
Chef Ramsay was quite taken aback by her reply. It was an audacious move to go in blind. But let's see how it turned out to be.
Wow, look at that. That is beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Emily, what?
Yes, it looked perfect. And well, it tasted pretty good too.
Really is delicious. It's rich. It's nicely soaked. Visually you can see the 4 layers, but cherry's a little bit too big, so it's a little bit chunky.
Okay.
So when we cut through them, it tears. But well done.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
So guess who ended up winning this?
Heading home. It's been hard enough, so I'm going to cut straight to the chase. The person leaving the MasterChef kitchen is Emily. Oh dear. Shanika, congratulations. Please head up to the balcony. Thank you.
That was tough. Even though Emily was the one who challenged Shanika, Shanika really did manage to win. But now that the cake debacle is over, let's get into what the internet is talking about their feud. You see, Shanika's Reddit reviews are a mixed bag. Some folks are totally on her side, saying she got a raw deal in season 9. They reckon she was made out to be bossy when really she was just trying to steer the ship right during team challenges. Plus, they dig her no-nonsense attitude, preferring it over people who beat around the bush. Others agree she had a point, but think maybe she could have softened her delivery a bit. Still, lots of fans think she's got serious cooking chops and should have gone further in both seasons. Overall, it's a bit of a toss-up, but Shanika definitely had her fair share of supporters. And while most of them refused to believe there was any rivalry between them and they were only being competitive with each other, some others think their chemistry reminds them of the Leslie and Ahran situation. And for those of you who don't know what went down between Leslie and Ahran, here's a quick refresher. You see, back in season 5, Ahran and Leslie had quite the friction between each other.
Iran.
Ron.
Iran. I'm
Iran.
sorry. Iran. I'm sorry.
Iran,
I apologize. I apologize. I'm sorry.
While the fact that he couldn't get her name right sparked off several controversies calling him out for targeting Ahran's ethnicity, on the hand Ahran herself didn't exactly warm up to him.
Leslie's team, and he does not know how to communicate with people.
But that wasn't all. When he was walking around trying to be the leader he never was, Ahran thought he was purposely picking on her. After trying to keep her cool for a while, she finally decided to blow up. And blow up she did.
Strainer in the pot.
Okay.
No, put the strainer in that pot.
Leslie, you need to stop yelling, okay? You're not helping our team at all right now.
You're wasting a lot of time.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, but towards the end of the same episode, it was payback time. When asked to pick the weakest performance, Leslie decided to throw Ahran under the bus.
Wow.
Why Iran?
She and I don't seem to see eye to eye, and I have the choice. And I can.
Coward.
Well, I don't think anyone could have been more straightforward than that. I mean, Leslie just said it, as it is, no filters. And of course, Ahran was mad at him.
Honestly, what the hell, dude? If he was a real man, he would have chosen himself to cook in the pressure test.
But look what happened. The judges decided to scrap Leslie's picks for the pressure test and name Jordan, Daniel, and watch it for yourselves.
Leslie, you led your team to disaster, completely fragmented from the get-go. You will face tonight's dreaded pressure test.
Good.
Bye.
Well, talk about karma. Anyway, can you think of any other contestant rivalry gone wrong? Make sure to let me know in the comments down below. And before you head out, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications. And if you thought this video was crazy, then don't forget to check my post right here. It's even crazier.